He didn't merely forget a birthday or blow off a graduation speech. He ghosted the day I said I do, the single occasion I got on my knees begging him to be present, suit pressed and proud. I stood in lace and pearls at the top of the aisle, heart hammering, eyes darting to the reserved seat that stayed heartbreakingly empty. No voicemail, no last-minute flight delay excuse, just a black hole where a father should have been. I forced a radiant smile for the cameras, twirled under string lights, but that vacant chair became the ghost that followed me everywhere. Years later, when my eco-luxury hotel group skyrocketed to a $640 million valuation and every finance podcast called me a visionary, my dormant phone finally roared to life. One message from him: dinner tomorrow, 7 sharp. We need to talk. He skipped my vows, but I stepped into that dinner armed with a truth he never imagined. Our Bellevue house never echoed with arguments. It echoed with absence. Dad, Gregory Hale, commanded the space like a silent overlord, impeccable suits, colder demeanor, perpetually chasing the next deal. Mom, Diane, orbited him with practiced apologies. Your father's carrying heavy burdens, Sophia. Try to understand. Understanding became my full-time job, paid in every overlooked art show, every debate trophy I hung myself. My brother Cameron was the chosen one, quarterback grin, effortless charisma, the son Dad paraded at investor dinners while I sketched guest experiences on napkins. At 15, I asked why he never showed for my competitions. He barely glanced up from his emails. Sophia, I'm forging opportunities for all of us. Be thankful. Thankful for invisibility. I mastered shrinking, dreaming in margins because taking up space felt like trespassing. My wedding day shimmered with promise, peonies everywhere, friends beaming, until the clock ticked past start time and his seat remained empty. A text finally landed as I clutched my bouquet. Board emergency. Can't reschedule. My bridesmaids dabbed my tears, but nothing stopped the ache. I walked alone, guests cooing about independent spirit. At the altar, my husband Alex took my trembling hands. I see you, he murmured. Later, on our sweet terrace overlooking the Sound, I confessed, if he couldn't choose this day, he'd never choose me. That realization forged something unbreakable. I channeled every unspoken hurt into creating sanctuaries, thoughtful, sustainable escapes where travelers felt deeply, genuinely cared for. My first property was a neglected coastal in near Astoria, warped floors, faded charm, but I poured my soul into it. Lenders laughed at the girl with big ideas. I signed anyway. I sanded beams until my hands blistered, rewired lamps at midnight, greeted guests with coffee when payroll ran short. One winter, pipes burst and flooded the lobby. I mopped until dawn, then served breakfast with a smile. Slowly, magic happened. 1 and became 10, each a haven of reclaimed wood and ocean views. Dad registered none of it. No pride at openings, no nod at awards. Until the valuation exploded. That morning, my team popped Prosecco, while headlines hailed my empire. Then the text, Gregory Hale. Dinner 7 p.m. tomorrow. Important family matter. No well done. No warmth, just an order. Alex begged me to delete it. But I needed to witness his expression when the overlooked daughter finally held all the leverage. My VP Finance, Mia, intercepted me with a confidential file. Your father's portfolio is imploding, missed payments, lawsuits, properties hemorrhaging value. Creditors were circling, offering his entire debt bundle at a steep discount. A quiet fire ignited. Acquire it, I instructed. Every note. By dusk the next day, it was mine. His crumbling legacy now answered to me. I chose a midnight blue sheath dress, minimal jewelry, shoes that announced arrival. Mom texted, be gentle with your father tonight. He's fragile. Fragile. After decades of making me feel small. The private dining room at the yacht club shimmered with candlelight. Dad presided at the head, Mom beside him, Cameron and Aunt Renee poised like loyal advisors.
Dad didn't stand.
Sophia, finally.
Sit.
I stayed upright. I know exactly why I'm here. Cameron smirked. Then let's cut the theatrics. Dad's company's hit turbulence. Your little hotel thing is apparently worth a fortune now. Time to bail out blood. Dad nodded. A capital infusion, some strategic guidance. You're in a position to support the family that raised you. I set my slim briefcase on the table. You mean the family that only remembers me when I'm profitable? Mom's hand flew to her pearls. Sophia. Dad's eyes narrowed. Show respect. Everything you have stems from the foundation I laid. Everything I have, I interrupted calmly, I built from the ground up while you were absent. I opened the case, fanning documents across the crisp linen. But you're correct. I am in a position to help. And I already have. Dad snatched the top sheet, color draining. Explain this. Debt assignment agreements. Yesterday afternoon, I purchased your entire distressed portfolio. Every mortgage, every lien. As of 5 p.m., your properties report to me. Cameron lunged for pages. This is insane. Completely binding, I said. Lenders jumped at the offer. Your empire is now under my umbrella. Mom gasped. Aunt Renee froze.
Dad rose slowly.
You think you can steal what I spent decades creating? I didn't steal anything. You lost it through neglect. I simply caught the pieces. The room went deathly still. Dad's kingdom vanished. His authority shattered. I closed the briefcase. 90 days to transition. My team begins rebranding next month. Mom reached out, voice breaking. Sophia, he's your father. I met her gaze. Fathers walk their daughters down aisles. He chose a boardroom. Dad's whisper cut sharp. You're dead to me. The words landed weightless. Good, I replied. Because I stopped being alive to you the day you left that chair empty. I turned and walked out. No one followed. The harbor breeze felt like rebirth. Alex waited curbside, pulling me into his arms as I sank into the seat. How is it? I breathed deep, like exhaling after holding my breath for 30 years. In the months that followed, Dad's faded holdings transformed, serene coastal retreats emphasizing restoration over prestige. I strolled one newly opened property at dawn, watching mist lift off the water, and finally recognized the woman in the window's reflection. Calm, complete, unchained. Some voids destroy you. Others become the space where you grow roots deep enough to outlast any storm. If you've ever turned neglect into unbreakable strength, tell your truth below. Subscribe. More stories of rising from silence await.